Workers patched over the two torpedo holes and pumped the water out of her, refloating her on May 17, 1942, and she was taken into dry dock number 1 in Pearl Harbor on June the 9th for inspection. They found first 5, but eventually the 6th and 7th hit during the process. Temporary repairs were made to make her seaworthy. During this time, the 70 or so men who had been trapped below decks and had suffocated were removed. After completing these repairs, West Virginia set sail for Puget Sound Navy Yard in Bremerton for a full rebuild. After the attack, the Navy began considering the extent to which these old battleships should be modernized, like replacing the lattice masts with other structures that could accommodate heavier radar without falling over. Since West Virginia and California had been severely damaged by Japanese explosives at Pearl Harbor and couldn't be quickly returned to service like the other battleships, the ones that were still afloat, uh, they would have the previously planned bulges installed, which would offset the loss of freeboard these upgrades would have. And they would go through quite extensive rebuilds to not only repair the damage, but also bring them up to modern fighting standards. Such plans were made to install a battery of dual purpose 5-inch guns, but the work was deferred as a result of the length of time necessary to reconstruct the ship. Additionally, the limited number of West Coast dry docks slowed the pace of reconstruction, and West Virginia had to wait until Tennessee and California were rebuilt. As a result, the ship wasn't complete until September 1944. Work on West Virginia saw the ship radically upgraded. In addition to the torpedo bulges, she had new guns, new armor, and a new superstructure, amongst others. Her superstructure was revised completely, with the old, heavy armored conning tower removed and a smaller tower replacing it to reduce interference with AA gun fields of fire. The new one, by the way, came from a Brooklyn-class cruiser that had recently been rebuilt. The foremast was replaced with a tower mast that housed the bridge and main battery director, and her second funnel was removed. These boilers were trunked into a larger forward funnel. As mentioned, the weapons suite was overhauled entirely. She received air search radar and fire control radar for her main and secondary batteries, the latter being replaced by a uniform battery of 16 5-inch 38 guns and 8 twin mounts, with Mark 37 directors. The light guns were also revised, now having quad 40mm Bofors and 43 20mm Oerlikons. By early July, the ship was ready for sea trials in her new condition. She loaded ammo on July 2nd and departed for trials off Port Townsend, Washington, with the evaluation continuing until the 12th of July, at which point she returned to Puget Sound for any necessary repairs. She then steamed for San Pedro, LA for a shakedown cruise before heading to Hawaii on September 14th with a pair of destroyers. She arrived on the 23rd and joined Battleship Division 4 and the carrier Hancock, which left for Manus in the Admiralty Islands for operations in the Philippines. She arrived in Sealer Harbor on October 5th, and the following day she became flagship of Bat Div 4 under the command of Rear Admiral Theodore Ruddock.